Do you ever feel like you're wearing a mask? A face you show the world that isn't quite you. Perhaps it's the mask of strength when you feel fragile, or the mask of happiness when you're hurting inside. We all adopt roles, personas, or masks to navigate the complexities of social interaction. These can be the successful mask, the cool mask, the always okay mask. They are often crafted to gain acceptance, avoid judgment, or simply to cope. But who are we underneath the mask? What happens when the mask becomes so convincing that we forget it's not our real face? This journey is about peeling back those layers, understanding why we wear them, and discovering the authentic self beneath. This exploration is not about judgment, but about understanding. It's a path towards self-reflection, personal growth, and mental wellness. We'll delve into psychological concepts, explore the reasons behind our masks, and consider the path towards greater authenticity. Researchers offer profound insights into this phenomenon of the mask. It helps us understand the internal dynamics that lead us to present a curated version of ourselves to the world. This isn't just a social habit, it's deeply rooted in our psychological structure and development. Understanding these concepts can be a powerful aid in therapy and self-help. It provides a framework for examining our own behaviors and feelings. It's educational content that can illuminate the often unseen forces shaping our interactions and internal lives. Carl Jung, the pioneering Swiss psychiatrist, introduced the concept of the persona. Think of the persona as the social mask we wear, the role we play in public. It's the face we present to meet the expectations of society and others. The persona is necessary for social functioning. It allows us to fit in, to interact effectively, and to protect our inner world. It's the part of us that wants to be seen as acceptable, competent, or desirable by the collective. Jung also spoke of the shadow. This is the unconscious aspect of our personality, containing traits and impulses we often repress or hide. It holds the parts of ourselves we deem unacceptable, negative, or primitive. The shadow isn't inherently evil, it simply contains the aspects of ourselves that don't fit our conscious self-image or the persona we wish to project. It can hold creativity, spontaneity, and instinct, as well as fear, anger, and shame. Problems arise when we over-identify with the persona. When we believe the mask is our entire identity, we neglect the shadow. This repression doesn't make the shadow disappear, it often manifests in unexpected or disruptive ways. Integrating the shadow means acknowledging and accepting these hidden parts of ourselves. It's a crucial step towards wholeness and authenticity. The mask is useful, but it should not become a prison for the true self. Donald Winnicott, a British pediatrician and psychoanalyst, offered another perspective, the true self and the false self. He saw the true self as the spontaneous, authentic core of our being. It's the source of our creativity, vitality, and genuine feelings. The true self emerges when an infant's needs are met responsively by their caregivers. This allows the infant to feel real and to express their spontaneous gestures and feelings without fear of retaliation or withdrawal of love. The false self acts as a shield. It presents an appearance of compliance or adaptation to the world, while the true self remains hidden and protected. In extreme cases, the false self can become so dominant that the individual feels empty or unreal. A healthy false self is adaptive, it allows us to navigate social situations politely and appropriately. It's when the false self is rigidly dominant, constantly suppressing the true self, that issues arise. This can lead to a profound sense of inauthenticity and disconnection. Understanding Winnicott helps us see how our masks can originate from early experiences. They are often survival mechanisms developed when our authentic expression felt unsafe. This perspective fosters empathy for ourselves and others. Why do we put on these masks? Often, they are not conscious choices but deeply ingrained defense mechanisms. They serve to protect us from perceived threats, whether real or imagined. These threats can stem from past trauma, social pressures, or internal fears. Recognizing the mask as a defense mechanism is key to self-compassion. It acknowledges that these behaviors developed for a reason, usually to keep us safe. This understanding is vital for personal growth and mental wellness, especially for those who have experienced anxiety or trauma. While complex, understanding certain psychological structures can illuminate mask wearing. In simplified terms, for individuals with borderline tendencies, the mask can become a crucial survival strategy. It helps manage intense emotional instability and a profound fear of abandonment. The mask might be used to create a sense of identity or stability that feels internally lacking. Different masks might be adopted in different situations or with different people. This is often an attempt to please others or avoid the feared rejection. This isn't a deliberate deception, but a desperate attempt to navigate overwhelming internal states and interpersonal challenges. The mask provides a temporary structure, even if it feels fragmented or inconsistent. It highlights how masks can serve a protective function in the face of severe emotional pain. Understanding this can foster empathy and reduce stigma. It shows how deeply ingrained the need for a protective facade can become. It underscores the importance of therapeutic support for individuals struggling with such intense internal experiences. Social anxiety is a powerful driver for mask wearing. The fear of judgment, rejection, or embarrassment can be paralyzing. To cope, individuals might create a mask of being cool, aloof, perfect, or invisible. This mask is an attempt to control how one is perceived, or to avoid being perceived at all. It's a shield against anticipated criticism or negative evaluation. The energy required to maintain this facade in social situations is immense and exhausting. Trauma is another significant source of masks. Survivors might develop masks to hide their pain, fear, or vulnerability. A happy mask might be worn to appear normal and avoid questions or pity. A strong mask might hide deep emotional wounds. These masks are often unconscious adaptations to unbearable experiences. They serve to compartmentalize trauma, to maintain a semblance of control, or to protect oneself from further harm. The mask becomes a barrier between the traumatized self and the perceived dangers of the world. For trauma survivors, the mask can be a complex issue. It provided protection when it was needed most. However, it can also prevent healing and connection if it remains rigidly in place, hiding the very parts that need to be seen and healed. Recognizing the protective origin of these masks is crucial for self-compassion and healing. It's not about blaming the mask wearer, but understanding the context in which the mask was created. This understanding is a vital step in the journey towards mental wellness. While masks can offer temporary protection, their long-term consequences can be significant and detrimental to our well-being. Constantly maintaining a facade takes a toll. It affects our internal state, our relationships, and our overall mental health. Reflecting on these consequences is part of the self-reflection process. It helps us understand the cost of living behind a mask. This analytical look at the impact can motivate us to seek change and prioritize authenticity. Perhaps the most profound consequence is the loss of authenticity. When we constantly present a false self, we disconnect from our true self. We might even forget what our genuine thoughts, feelings, and desires are. This disconnect can lead to a feeling of emptiness or hollowness. We might feel like we're just going through the motions, playing a role rather than living a life that is truly ours. This lack of authenticity can erode our sense of self-worth. Maintaining a mask is incredibly draining. It requires constant vigilance to ensure the facade doesn't slip. We have to monitor our words, expressions, and behaviors to make sure they align with the persona we are projecting. This emotional labor is exhausting. It leaves little energy for genuine connection, creativity, or simply being present. It's like constantly holding your breath. Eventually, you need to gasp for air. Masks create barriers between ourselves and others. When we hide our true selves, we prevent others from truly knowing us. This makes it difficult to form deep, meaningful relationships based on mutual understanding and acceptance. Others connect with the mask, not the person underneath. This can lead to feelings of isolation, even when surrounded by people. The fear is that if we show our true selves, we will be rejected, reinforcing the need for the mask. The pressure to maintain a mask can significantly contribute to mental health issues. The constant fear of being found out or the exhaustion from the effort can fuel anxiety. The disconnect from the true self and the lack of genuine connection can lead to feelings of depression. Living inauthentically can feel like living a lie, which is a heavy burden. The internal conflict between the presented self and the hidden self creates significant psychological stress. This stress can manifest as various mental health challenges. A particularly insidious consequence is the risk of becoming so identified with the mask that we lose touch with our true identity altogether. The false self can become so convincing that we start to believe it is who we are. This can make the journey back to the true self incredibly challenging. It requires dismantling a structure that has become deeply integrated. It highlights the importance of self-awareness and introspection throughout our lives. The journey from behind the mask back to the authentic self is possible. It is a path of self-discovery, healing, and personal growth. It requires courage, patience, and self-compassion. This is where the hopeful tone becomes essential. This process can be challenging, especially if the mask has been worn for a long time or developed in response to trauma. However, the rewards of living more authentically are immense: greater peace, deeper connections, and a stronger sense of self. The first step is cultivating self-awareness. This involves paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without judgment. It means noticing when we put on a mask and trying to understand the underlying reasons. Ask yourself, in what situations do I feel the need to hide? What parts of myself do I keep hidden? What am I afraid will happen if I show my true self? Journaling, mindfulness, and quiet reflection can aid this process. Uncovering the reasons behind our masks often reveals vulnerability and pain. It's crucial to approach this process with self-compassion. Remember that the mask was likely created for protection. It served a purpose, even if it's no longer serving you well. Be kind to yourself as you explore these layers. Avoid self-criticism for having worn the mask. Instead, acknowledge the difficulty of the experiences that necessitated it and appreciate the strength it took to survive. For many, the journey back to the true self is best undertaken with professional support. Therapy provides a safe and confidential space to explore the origins of your masks, process underlying trauma or anxiety, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. A mindful person can help you gently challenge the beliefs that keep the mask in place. They can support you in integrating the disowned parts of your shadow and nurturing your vulnerable true self. Supporting friends can also provide invaluable connection and understanding. Authenticity isn't a goal to reach, it's a lifelong process. The mask may return under stress, but that's part of the path. What matters is choosing when to wear it, and staying true underneath. We explored how masks form through trauma and anxiety, drawing from Jung and Winnicott. They protect, but they also isolate us and drain our truth. The way back begins with awareness and self-compassion. Ask yourself, what masks do I still wear? Who am I beneath them? You don't need to become fully authentic overnight, just take the first step. Reach out if you need support. Because your real self. It's not too much. It's medicine. And it's time the world saw it. So, I encourage you to start tonight.